Hey Bob, you're always first now. Probably because you pay for. Hey Gary, you probably because you pay for YouTube, right? So you don't get ads. Everybody else has to wait 30 seconds or 15 seconds or something to see me. Sorry about that. I don't think I don't think I make any. I mean, I could turn off ads for the live streams, I suppose. I mean, I can look here and see how much I make on live streams. Like if I go to my live streams and I go most watched, which the views most viewed, 4,300. Okay. Oh, Paul David's Day. That's funny. 4,300. Oh, because all the people saw me from Paul David. So let's see how much money I made on that video. Oh, 30 bucks. Not bad. Not, not minimum wage. And it's definitely not getting any views anymore. In the last 48 hours, it hasn't gotten any views. So that's not surprising. I got 29 subscribers out of it, which was, again, probably because it was Paul David's thing. Daily lesson #1. Holy cow. The first one we did, that one has 4,000 views. Let's see what the 20 bucks. Now, if there's some here, that might have lesson 258 mystery song. Oh, the mystery song thing we did. That's right. Whoops. Analytics. Here we go. $8. Yeah. So not really. But I gained 9 subscribers, which is weird. So I guess I get subscribers doing the live thing. I don't even notice that. Hey Roger, what's going on? Living the premium life, exactly. Yeah. However, so the ads. I mean, they say I averaged. Well, that was like the 4th most watched one or the 3rd most watched one. I made $8 on, so I'm probably averaging $1 per live stream. So, I mean, I'll watch. I remember watching some legal live stream of some case. I think it was maybe uh, the legal live stream on the Johnny Depp case with Amber Heard, was that her name? Um, and he was like, people were giving him $100, $10, $20, but it was just like nonstop. I'm like, dang, he's raking it in. Even Beato back in the day when he would do live stream, you would see pretty decent money. Now when he does it, it doesn't look like as much. I don't think he does them as much as he used to. But I mean, if I was making, $3,000 every time I went live, I'd be doing it every day. I started out just earlier playing a kind of a weird melody. Basically just kind of a C scale, starting on B, going up to F. And I'm changing the harmony. Okay, the harmony are the chords. The underpinning, the melody is what I was playing. That's interesting and has a totally different sound. So with the A minor, and technically we're in the key of C, so this would be the 6th chord. And you go to the 5 chord, go to the 4 chord, and And I'm not saying this is a fingerstyle thing. I'm saying this could be a sung melody. We go to the C. Kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting. Oh, some new instrument I bought last time. What have I haven't bought anything in a while. Usually at the end of the year I buy a few things. Um, let's see. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I'm trying to think of what was the most recent purchase. I mean, my most recent purchase might not even be this might be in the closet. I did get a Mando guitar. I'm going to lower my camera a little bit. We're kind of going over my head. Let's see if I can get it a little lower. Get most of the guitar in there. Kind of want to make sure you know I'm wearing pants. Brainwaves, what's going on? It looks like we got some new people here. What's going on? All right. So, thanks, Bob. I try to do every Monday. Was I here last Monday? I think I was. Almost wasn't here this Monday. Oh no, last Monday I had the car thing I had to deal with. That's right. My car was I had to take my car to the shop. I got a new, I love my car. It's 15 years old. It's in the garage. I drive 5,000 miles a year. I mean, nothing. And I needed a new alternator. I let it go too long. So if I get that mandolin, I'll have to leave the room, but I can do that in a little bit. I know it's just in one of my closets over here. So, yeah, the eye is doing better. The medication, I did the medication for an extended period of time. I haven't been waking up with pain. There's always something new though. I've got tennis elbow in my left elbow, which I can't figure out. I think I slept on it like this, kind of, it's just like, you get old and you just sleep funny and you wake up and you're like, oh, that's new. That famous thing is the neck. I mean, you just sleep weird on your neck and you're just jacked up the whole day. So, one of the things when we talk about songwriting, and it's interesting because the AI thing, I don't doubt that there are a lot of, if not lazy songwriters, wannabe songwriters, or professional songwriters that use AI to write a song and then they kind of make some changes on it, make it their own, and then release it as original. There's no copyright in AI content, from my understanding. In other words, you could create a bunch of AI songs and upload them to Spotify, but you wouldn't be able to collect royalties on them. And there's also going to be some cases where you've got people that are suing the AI companies for using their voice on things. It's guitar-wise, it would be really hard for me to recognize my guitar playing. Because I feel like my guitar playing is derivative of the people my influences. So I hear other guitar players in my own playing, but the voice thing is a little bit more unique. I feel like, and that's a little bit maybe more actionable. But the thing is, my point is, I got several people saying they want me to write or do more videos on songwriting. So I will do that, standalone videos, not live streams. So I may take some of the stuff we've talked about and put it into songwriting videos or whatever. Organize it. I have a bunch of plans for videos. I've been doing a lot of shorts and verticals, jam tracks. Trying to basically, my friend Quist. If you don't follow Quist, you should do that. He does great jam tracks, and then he does he'll solo over for about a time through the changes, and then it's like 5 minutes of jam track after that. And he's become a dear friend very quickly, and he um, he he basically was telling me that I should start to post on Facebook, and so I'm doing that more. He also said Instagram, which I'm not doing because my Instagram is more of a personal Instagram. I don't have it set to public right now. When I had it set to, anytime I have it set to public, I get weird follows. It's just I'm not digging, So I have it more set to private. It's more for family and things like that. I mean, if you follow me, I'll allow it. But I get some weird people following me. So um, the and then TikTok, and had a couple videos do pretty well on TikTok and on YouTube even. Now the shorts don't really generate any real money, but the cool thing about that one short, and I'll pull it up here. I'll go to my channel here, click on shorts, and I did one that got 14,000 new views, which is a lot for me for a short. That's big. The new one only has 2,000, but I got 31 subscribers out of that. So, and I made 70 cents. That's crazy, right? The amount of time I put into that, and it's gonna stop. Well, it looks like it's making a little, like it's still getting. In the last 48 hours, it has 3,800 views. Let's see, last 60 minutes, 173 views. So it's still generating views, which is cool. And so I'm gonna do more of those, Jam. I just did 3 new lick ones, like country lick things. And I don't know why I'm doing the country lick ones. I'm not a country player, but I love those kind of country riffs. I love this because they feel like a cheat code. Something about those country riffs feel like a cheat code. And the pull off ones, like the those kind of things are just totally for me just fun to play. I can never think of a time when I would use them, but they're a lot of fun. I should probably write a couple tracks using them. Just create a couple country tracks that where I compose out the solos like precisely. But and Carl Verheyen showed me that one, and that was back in the '80s, and when he did it, it was super snappy. Like he really made it sound country. I kind of here's the trick. I'm kind of showing it, giving it away, but I'm not really delivering at a Brett Mason level, who's one of the big session players the last few decades in Nashville. I bought his record back in the day and almost quit guitar, but. But one of the things about songwriting is that I feel like AI doesn't really do. So here, what AI is doing, it's called scraping, and they'll drop in a bunch of songs. Now here's the other thing interesting about AI, and that's why so many of the AI songs just they sound very familiar, and they're almost immediately kind of like, wow, that's a good track. Well, because they train them on good tracks, okay? So for every good record out there, let's just pick Garth Brooks or Keith Urban. Keith Urban's got some great records. He's a great musician, great player, great singer, good-looking guy. I mean, it's like you hate him, right? So you take all the Keith Urban records. Of course, they're gonna scrape all of those. For every Keith Urban, there are 100, 200, 300, 400 artists that aren't very good. They did records, they're awful. They their albums might be in the Library of Congress, they might be copyrighted, but there's no way they're gonna scrape those for AI because they want they're going to want to scrape. It's not quite like Chat GPT and even Google. The idea is to have access to all the information. So if I entered one of those really bad artists that want to be Keith Urban but aren't even close, I could probably find an entry from them on Google. Or if I asked Chat about it, Chat would probably tell me about that person. I asked Chat about me and it was wrong on about 30% of the stuff that was there. I was like, it was pretty interesting. But um, but the AI song companies, they're not going to scrape or be trained on non-hit songs. So that's one thing. All right. So if I were to, and I can really hear all of my instruments in the room right now. If I were to make an AI song and a country song, country seems to be one of the ones that can tend to fool the best. It's because country is pretty consistent. Like the arrangements are pretty consistent, the instrumentation is pretty consistent, the way voices are sung, the harmonies are very consistent. So you can get fooled by country stuff, blues stuff, anything that's you could sit down and formulaically say, I'm going to make a country record, I'm going to make a blues record, I'm going to make a bebop record. Jazz, that's a little bit more difficult, um, but you're going to know the instrumentation, you're going to know the format, you're going to know how songs are going to be played out. So it's a little bit more predictable. Pop, I've always said, pop is kind of the new frontier, and there are no rules. Like I've said this before, if we're going to make a country record, we're going to need acoustic guitar and bass and drums and maybe piano, probably electric guitar, maybe mandolin or fiddle or something like that, pedal steel, depends on how country we're going to go, how bluegrass, how modern we're going to go, the keyboards. But it's pretty defined. If we're going to make a jazz record, we're going to have drums, bass, and piano, and then probably sax, maybe guitar, trumpet, things like that. We're going to make a blues record, it's going to probably be guitar, bass, drums, maybe two guitars. So it's fairly predictable. But if I said, hey, let's make a pop record, what instruments should we use? It's kind of like anything goes. Because if you listen, you could have anything from a string quartet, like in Yesterday, acoustic guitar and string quartet. You could have a pop song, a funk R&B soul song with no bass, like When Doves Cry by Prince. Literally a #1 hit, and it didn't have bass. It's like, whenever you had an urban radio song with no bass? I mean, that's the kind of thinking that I don't believe AI can do. And if you train it, if you tell it to do that, hey AI, write me a pop song with no bass or an R&B song with no bass in it, yeah, sure, it can do that. But oh hey, is Julian here? Where's Julian? Oh, Julian Samuel, high school friend of Tom. Hey, how's it going? What's going on, man? You caught me. Julian's a good guitar player too. We were in a band together. He played guitar and he was a singer. Speaking of Prince, I think did we do our band? He was in the band Rendezvous. I had a band called Rendezvous, which actually is a pretty good band name in my opinion. Renda's Vows. Did we do I Want to Be Your Lover? I know I did it in Malachi, but I don't remember if I did it in Rendezvous. This is a D35. You can tell because it has a 3-piece back. Not that you could see the back, but that's one of the trademarks of a D35. The 3, I think, stands for 3 backs. Now, a 45 doesn't have 4 pieces of wood on the back. I'm not sure why. That's just something that is true about 30s. So, and this thing was an abused child. I got this at Guitar Center for about $1,100, and it was beat up, and the pick guard was all jacked up, and it was ugly. But as soon as I picked up and played like a couple of chords on it, I was like, oh, this is a really nice sounding Martin. Um, but one of the things I feel like AI can't do is think of something that hasn't been done, because it's only being trained on stuff that's already been being done. I use the example of, hey AI, what's a Suno? What's Radiohead's record that's released in 2030 gonna sound like? And like I've heard, you can look it up on YouTube, AI Radiohead songs, but they actually all sound like, everyone I heard sounded like Pablo Honey, which is the least Radiohead album that they did. That was kind of at the grunge period, and they were kind of doing a grungy record, and that's where Creep's from. And they don't even perform Creep live. I mean, it's so rare for them to perform Creep live. It's not even. It's you can't even. I'm gonna rotate this a little bit. Let's see. Do I go this way? I don't know. Yeah, that's better. But yeah, you can see I got music that I got to work on. I actually got a bunch of work that dropped right after the first of the year. So the AI, can't be predictive. I don't in that way very much. So yeah, I think "Creep's" a great song. I love the chord progression, which is also from the Hollies, right? That's a Hollies song. What's the Hollies song? I know. Oh, hey, Rachel, what's going on? Thank you for subbing. That means a lot to me. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I've been doing a lot of shorts, so I think that's attracting some new crowd. I don't know. This is long form Tom. Long Tom. You're going to get a bad case of Long Tom. So what I really feel like when I did my video on songwriting, 7 reasons why you should be writing songs. And people said, I want to hear more about songwriting. So I'm going to do some more videos down the road on songwriting. I just have to think about what I want to talk about. But one of the things that I feel like is super, super important aspect of songwriting is taking chances and experimenting. And I've written formulaic songs. There are times where you have to be formulaic. I felt like there was a time in 1982 when Hall & Oates were just killing it with hits. I really loved the record Abandoned Luncheonette, and that was more like a blue-eyed soul folk record. And then they came out with like Private Eyes and all those songs, and those felt more formulaic. Like they had a formula that they were writing to, and they that would be an interesting one to have Suno come up with like a Hall & Oates song and see what they would do. But I always felt like Hall & Oates in that second generation. I consider the first generation was the like Abandoned Luncheonette, which that was like Sarah Smile, that whole man, great stuff. Check out if you've never listened to Abandoned Luncheonette. What's records? There was a hit on it. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, there's some great tracks on that record. But very, very different than what they did just a few years later in the early 80s with G.E. Smith, the guitar player from Saturday Night Live, and they were kind of creating more of almost a band vibe. But every one of those singles, like they would do something weird. There would be one thing in it that was like, oh, well, that's weird. And that goes back to, this is probably a songwriting thing I should do is talk about what's the hook. Speaking of Creep, 50%, 45% of the time, the hook of the song is the chorus. But the thing is, the chorus and the hook, the definition of a hook is the thing that hooks you in, the thing that keeps you listening to the song. I would call that a hook. The melody of Day Tripper, yeah, Day Tripper, it's okay, but it's really all about that riff, and the riff pulls you in immediately. Okay, it hooks you. I always use the example of what causes that 13-year-old girl to call the radio station and say, "Hey, can you play that song that says Ella, Ella, Ella?" And of course, that's Umbrella by Rihanna, who my friend Kook wrote with his cousins. Um, and that was a post-chorus hook. That Ella 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 part is after the chorus, and so I feel like there's a lot of songs that the hook is not what you think it is. Creep is a perfect example. It hooked me. The first time I ever heard Creep on K-Rock here in Los Angeles, I was driving, which is the only time I listen to the radio. Pretty much true for everybody. I don't know. I need to get a radio. I miss the radio. I remember my aunt listening to Detroit Tiger games in her kitchen. She was a rabid Tigers fan, and she would just listen to every game in her kitchen. My Aunt Dorothy. We had the same birthday, except she was a lot older. But I heard that song and I was like, by the time I got to Tower Records, and this is how long ago it was, there was a Tower Records in Pasadena. By the time I got to Tower Records, I couldn't remember anything about the stupid song. It was like, whoa. So I go and I talk to the young kid there, and I say, I heard a song on K-Rock, and it was amazing, but I can't remember anything about it. Well, what were the lyrics? And I go, I don't know. And he goes, well, what was the melody? And I'm like, because by then I'd heard 10 more songs because I couldn't get to Tower fast enough. I was on the 210 freeway. I remember I was coming back from somewhere, probably Orange County or something. And I literally stopped at Tower on the way home so I could ask this question. And he said, well, do you remember anything about the song? Well, I said, I do remember one thing. I said, when the guitars came in, it sounded like a car engine starting. And he said, what? And I was like, like, ka-gunk. Like if a car doesn't want to start, ka-gunk, ka-gunk, ka-gunk. And then the guitars came in. He goes, oh, that's Creep by Radiohead. He knew exactly what I was talking about because that was the hook. Just cha-chunk, cha-chunk. That is the hook. Believe it or not. So, the song, I mean, it's great. I feel like his Tom York's melody at the end of that, the stuff he does on the falsetto, I can't get that high. But it's super interesting. But really, the thing that pulled me in, the thing that got me to buy that CD, was the ka-kunk, ka-kunk, and I immediately became a Radiohead fan. Bought the record, listened to it, was like, wow, this is different than anything else. And that was Pablo Honey, which is like their least favorite record. My favorite probably is OK Computer. I listen to that record and I cry because I know that I'll never make a record as good as that. I'll never be part of a record as good as that. It's literally one of the best records ever made. And there are other Radiohead records that people like better than that. But that to me is just the perfect Radiohead record. And it's an older one. So, but you have to experiment. You have to take chances. You have to do weird stuff. You have to experiment with instrumentations that maybe make no sense. We've talked about this in the past, and I will probably do a video on this. What makes up a song? What are the elements of a song? And it's, the main thing you think of is melody and lyrics, but there's harmony, there's instrumentation, there's arrangement. Like all the Beatles songs, so many of the Beatles songs were AABA. It would be like A would contain the verse and the chorus, and there would be another verse and chorus. Then it would be like a bridge, and then another chorus maybe out. That was the AABA form, and that was a very common form in the 50s and 60s, and going back before that. But then it kind of changed, and then I listened. You listen to pop, and it's like one thing. There's almost no intros because radio would talk over intros, and you want to get to the song sooner. The average intro, I think, in the 80s was 22 seconds. Today, I think it's I mean, 10 years ago, I think it was 8 seconds. Now it's like 3 seconds or something like that. I mean, they literally get right into the song. So, but that's for pop, and it depends. You know, for rock, metal, new metal, death metal, you know, all the metals, for country, for whatever. I think, you know, one of the things about experimenting is that it allows you to be creative. And again, that's that creative thing that we all have in us, that innate in us, that is God imbued. Is that a word? I'm trying to think. But God gave it to all of us. And because we're made in his image and he's an incredibly creative God. And so we have that built in us, and we have to be creative. It's going to come out some way, shape, or form. It may not come out in songwriting. It may come out in painting. It may be coming out how you raise your kids. It may come out in how you drive home from work. It will show up, especially if you don't stifle it. And so I encourage, and that's kind of one of the things about songwriting. I feel like it kind of encourages that. So when I played that very first thing that I played when I logged in, let's see. I'm just playing a. Over all of those chords, that melody has a different relationship to the root notes, has a different emotion. Over the A minor, it's kind of sad and like something's something bad's gonna happen. I don't know. But then it's still a little weird over the C, because that B and then the F. The fact that it goes from B to F, right? That's a tritone. If I'd gone so if I'd gone right, that's basically Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. If I'd done that, just a do re mi, fa sol, then do re mi fa sol, do re mi fa sol, it's interesting over the E minor, right? Because it's starting on the C note. And that just, those little kind of experimenting may help you come up with something you might not normally do. Like, for example, you might want to start the song. Ah, my God. It's got potential, right? Just that E minor with the C and the melody is just really kind of interesting. And it might be hard to sing that. You're going to have to practice that. Especially if you don't play it in the guitar. It's gonna clash. You're gonna have this. Right away, I've got a melody that's different. That's like, okay, that's almost wrong. How often do we see people talk about Beatles songs and explaining this is why this works? Or notice that, they went chromatically down, why does that work? And it's like, they'll explain it because they can look at it and go, it worked. Why did it work? Okay, let's analyze this, right? So my goal to you is to write something that someone will come along later and analyze to try to figure out, why the heck did that work? And I feel like that when you experiment and take chances and try something that you think might not work, or you're not sure, you can't predict, and the less you've played guitar, the less you'll be able to predict. The longer I play guitar, I know pretty much what things are going to sound like before I play them. And that's part about being a good musician. I know, I can kind of hear it in my head before I hear it played with my fingers. But it's that moment where you do something that's like a weird. You go, okay, no, that didn't work, right? You're like, oh shoot, no, that's not gonna work. That's just not. It's like you can go, whatever. But um, but it's experimenting that caused every kid who ever played guitar to go. Right? And that's how whoever wrote that the first time, that's how it happened. Or this, so was it? Hey, what if I slide the A minor chord up 2 frets? He probably tried 1 fret first. No, that doesn't work. Now, if you can melodically justify this, and have someone come along 100 years later and analyze, why did that work? And well, here's why it worked. Da 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 da. What's Dennis? What's going on? good and even, even on. Oh, not. I don't know. I need to work on my Dutch. And yeah, I see Jan on my Facebook page. I appreciate him liking all the videos I'm posting. It helps. Hayden, hey, let's see. Can you do a video of open C sharp minor tuning? C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, E. C sharp. Oh, let me write that down. The funny thing is, I have this reputation for doing videos on tunings, and I hardly ever play in weird tunings. But I think it's part of the reason my videos are so successful is because I'm kind of approaching them as a newbie. Let's see, YouTube. Let me just add a folder. Well, can I? I think I can. I can have C sharp in it, folder name, right? On Mac, I can. C sharp, G sharp. Did you say C sharp? G sharp, C sharp, but that's going to be interesting to have that B string tuned up to E. I mean, I might do a variation on that where the shapes would apply. I don't know. Well, I mean, I can probably tune the B string up to C. I'm not going to do it now. Didn't I break a string the other day tuning? I was tuning down too, and the string broke. But yeah, C sharp, G sharp, C. So it's basically a dad. So if that was A, it would be D-A-D-A, da, 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 da. And then that would be a D, so it would be really high, and then F. So it would be a minor. Yeah, that's interesting tuning. Have to think about it. That might happen. It might happen. It's a breath of fresh air. I'm glad you think so, Rachel. Julian, are you still around? We can talk about old times. Hey, Pepper, I've been seeing your TikToks keep showing up on my feed. So but you can take something like that, and what happens is when you're trying to come up with a melody, and again, it can happen a lot of different ways. You could write the melody on guitar. You could hear it in your head in the shower and go, man, what's that melody? Where's my phone? I got to record. Oh no, my phone got wet. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Pepper. Oh, there. That one's weird because I got an F sharp in the bass and I'm playing F in the melody. That might not work, but But sometimes you start with a melody and then it's all about harmonizing, which is kind of what I'm doing. I'm starting with a melody. Um, and, you know, I could start with. That's a nice little melody, right? So scalier. It's right in the scale. Right? So then if I it's the first place you go. Go to that six. Right? Go to A minor, it's like says something different, right? That would be something you might do at the end of the song, right? Kind of a false ending, not going to the C chord. You go to the A minor, and then you go back to. You get to go to like an E7 kind of thing. Okay, now I'm getting ahead of myself here. But so what did I do there? I did that whole melody over a C chord. Well, I can change that so that I'm going where I'm changing chords sooner. Well, I can go even sooner than that. So I changed on every melody note change. Now see maybe. Now I've taken that melody that I played over one chord, okay, originally over C, and then I played it over A, played over F, so I literally made that, let's see, I made that last 8 bars. I milked it for 8 bars. And my progression is just super slow. You're literally on every chord for 8 beats or 2 bars. But if I changed more, now I'm playing all those chords. Totally different song. It has a totally different vibe, connotation. It goes by so much faster. The tempo hasn't changed, but everything's moving quickly. The harmony's moving a lot more quickly. And it's a very, very, very simple melody. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3. That pretty much any chord I play in that key is going to work. So I can change chords at any point. Instead of going the only thing I'm doing to kind of hammer home that F to A or F to E, the 4-3 thing in the key of C, is to do a C sus. You hear that? But now I might change it because I'm already on C chord. So I might go. oftentimes when you're writing, you'll paint yourself into a corner, and you'll be like, dang it, how do I get out of this? And then you gotta figure, you either have to deconstruct and get rid of the thing that took you to that painted corner, or you have to come up with some creative way to get out of that painted corner. And I hear songs all the time by newbie songwriters, on bad records, I've played on a lot of bad records. No comment. But, I played on a lot of records that I was like, oh, this is not a very good song. It's like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. There are rules, and if you break them, it's like, oh, there are times when you break a rule and it's like, wait, well, I thought that wasn't supposed to work, but it does. Power chords are a perfect example. One of the early rules that we learned in music theory, particularly in harmony and choral arrangements, is that you never have parallel fifths or parallel octaves, right? Everything is going to sound like Gregorian chant. But rock, without power chords, without parallel fifths and octaves, you really wouldn't have rock music. So clearly, that was a rule that was meant to be broken. And of course, it was broken by the rebels that did rock and roll. But it totally it works. And so you can't go, well, it breaks the rules and therefore it doesn't work. It clearly does. So, which Dennis? Nice. -6 degrees Celsius. Is that like minus 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit? I don't know. So that melody. Then you can kind of experiment. You can try to mess with it. I'm trying to work that F sharp in there, but it's a little hard. I'm trying to think of it. Okay, maybe do. There, okay, that C works over the F sharp because I'm kind of implying like maybe a D7, or I'm implying a F sharp minor flat 5. Couldn't really, I guess I could go 1 minor 7. I could do that. So let's see what that is. Kind of interesting. That's not something I've ever done before, where I've taken one minor 7 flat 5 to another minor 7 flat 5. That minor 7 flat 5 going to the E is that B minor 7 flat 5. Here's how I'm playing it. It's a cool chord. So if you don't want to learn it, don't play the bottom string, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. So it's basically B minor 7, but I've taken the 5th down, and then I'm not playing the top string because that would be F. It'd be hard. If you want to bar your first finger diagonally, you could get it, but that's a B minor 7 flat 5. You can also think of it as a G9, but I think B to E to A. Okay, so like very common. Where is it? Okay, everybody take a sip. I changed guitars. I got a tune. Oh, it's about 25 degrees. Okay. Heck, that's what the Steelers game. The Steelers game last night was about 22 degrees. Gotta get in the zone. A really common kind of rumba progression: A minor to D minor to G to C to F to B flat. I'm sorry, to B 7 flat 5, B minor 7 flat 5, or B minor B half diminished is another name for that, and then E. Thanks, Sam. Or I could just make up a number and say, "Oh, so it's that cold," and then make them correct me, and that's how I find out. Like I did. Oh, Celsius. So it's like 1,000,000 degrees? No, it's like 85. Oh, okay, cool. Now I know. That's generally how I learn anything. I just make up some completely ridiculous answer, and then someone corrects me, and now I know the answer. I didn't have to Google anything. I didn't I didn't have to ask chat. I've been working on my rumba. I can't imagine doing that for a whole set though. Like doing like 2-hour Gypsy Kings gig. That would just kill me. But I'm working on a bunch of different rumba patterns. That one that I played originally, that took me forever to get down. And even now my time is not great. But I do have a fingernail on my ring finger, which helps me get that golpe. But dang. Hard pattern, and it hurts right here. I can get a bruise right there. It's like ow, 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 ow. So right now I got a little thing on my, like I poked my finger with a string or something. I don't remember doing anything. It's got like a little chunk taken out. And I was playing bass last night. I've got to play more bass. I was playing bass on something, and it was like ow, 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 ow. The whole time I'm playing bass. And eventually the pain just goes away. I know it like after about 30 minutes, it's like, okay, it doesn't hurt anymore because I can't feel anything. Just emotionally, I can't feel anything. Yeah, so like that melody, actually that melody. That melody works great over that flamenco or rumba chord progression. It's really kind of, yeah, slap bass. I know I can't. I really suck at slap bass. I have my friend Pee Wee. He's so good at it, and I actually had a composer call me to play slap on something, and I just said no. Call Pee Wee, and they had a great time doing it. They had a lot of fun. -6 times 2 minus 12 plus 32, 20 plus 2, 22. So what? That's the formula. So that works for. Does it work? So let's say. So if it's 0, 0 times 2 is 0. Okay, plus 32 is 32, and then plus 2 is 34. That's not right. Right? Holly's not wrong. Stop with the ding dang math. Yeah. So I thought 0 was 32. So how come it's 34 now? It's an approximation. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a raschiato. That's a. I'm using thumb and one finger. Thumb and two fingers would be. I like that one. It's. I can't do it as fast or as tight, but I like the two finger one because I feel like it's brighter. So I'm going thumb up. So I'm playing an E7 chord. Thumb up and then pinky down, and I got nail on my pinky, so it gets a nice bright sound. And then index finger down. It looks like I'm doing something with my middle two fingers, but nothing's happening there. They're just kind of moving sympathetically. The key on these is to relax, and that's like I'm so tense when I'm doing it. I just have to kind of like, remember that postulation? Is that the word I'm looking for? I'm so bad with. Some people have a way with words, and some people, not have way. Steve Martin. But that you'll see these kids like 10-year-old kids shredding on the banjo, and then you look at them and they're on their face they look completely bored, and they're like, and they're just like, and I'm like, wait, what? How are you playing that fast and you're not even thinking about it? Because if I was playing that fast, I'd be like, I'd be all tense and everything. Well, I realized I think your countenance, your face, relaxation starts there. You relax your face, and you just put on your resting B face, and then whatever happens there, it spreads down to the rest of your body. And so I'm trying to live by that when I'm practicing some of these things that are like, I'm barely hanging on at all by a thread, and that you don't want to feel that way. You want to feel like, oh, this is just whatever. So I'm trying to get a point where I can do like some rhythm patterns, the pattern, They have a pill for that. Postulations in geometry. Yep. I knew there was a word in there somewhere. But yeah, so I'm doing, and like the first one I ever learned was a long time ago. So I don't remember who showed it to me, but it was kind of kick snare thing. That's what and I can see I'm distorting the microphone. But yeah, so it's like. I'm hitting down here, and again, this is a flamenco guitar. I don't know if you can see it, but it has actual pick guard on the top and the bottom. So when all the hitting I'm doing isn't damaging the wood. So I'm hitting the bout of the guitar and then strumming up with my fingers. And then I'm doing the nails of my fingers and then the nail of my thumb. So it's two brights. It's like. dark, bright, bright, and then the snare hit. So you bring your hand over here, and you don't want to be too far up. You really want to kind of be over the sound hole. So you put hit and make the strings make contact with the fretboard, and that creates the snare sound. And then you follow it up with the same pattern. The fingers up, so the flesh of the fingers kind of going up, and then fingers down, thumb up, and that sets up the. Trying to look forward. Then you got it. Then you have to set up that raschiato, so like you can't do an up. And that's, yeah, anyway. You weren't asking for this. This is a totally different thing. We're not letting it go, are we? Oh, all right, back to the acoustic. Oh wait, somebody asked about a new instrument. Let me go get it. Give me 1 second. Play amongst yourselves. Ooh. And this one you can tell is old by the case. It is old. I think it's from the 20s. And I need to keep it out, maybe use it on something. Let's see. Okay. Alex found this on Facebook Marketplace and thought I'd be interested. And it's a cool little thing. I haven't used it on anything. Tuning wise, I have not tuned it all the way up. I think I have it down a half step. I'm a little afraid. I haven't changed the strings or anything. It's all original, so it's got those, you know, the old plastic tuning pegs. So I'm really always cautious about those. Too many times I've seen old instruments where they're broken and you have to get the vice grips out to replace, you know, to tune it. Yeah, it's kind of a tune. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a mandolin banjo, but made by Gibson. It's an old Gibson, and I mean, it's all. It looks like all original except the drum head. Yeah, it's not the original drum head. Obviously, it's a fake drum. I mean, it's fake. It's a fiber drum head, and the bridge is not original. The bridge looks like it's collapsing a little bit. I could probably get a better. Oh, in fact, it's not even the right bridge. Yeah, it's not even the right bridge. So I probably should restring it, get it all up to get the right bridge for it. But other than that, it's pretty much original. I can tell. So well built. I mean, just solid as a rock. Really, really nice workmanship. I mean, just crazy how good things were built back then. And the gold, this probably is an original, I'm guessing. Now that I look at this gold bit here, I doubt that this cover on the strings is original. But I mean, I got it for $500 on. I just couldn't pass it up. It's like Alex. Alex looked at me and goes, they're typically $1,000 to $1,500, and this one looks pretty original. So, maybe if it were 100% original, the guy was, and it's kind of sad. He wasn't really much of a player. But he just had a bunch of stuff because he liked collecting things. And so I don't know if he, was like, oh, I can't play anymore. It's just because he doesn't. I mean, I'm hoping that day won't come for me. Um, but uh, he just, yeah, his wife was actually a famous stunt woman, and I think she was the stunt woman for Linda Carter and Wonder Woman and all that stuff. And she had just passed away, and he was selling the house and moving to a smaller place. And it was very sad. Beth went with me, and we just kind of hung out with him, and he seemed to want to talk, and we just hung out, and I gave him the cash, and yeah. So I will always remember him. I should try to remember her name just so that I can. There was an article written about her when she passed away in the L.A. Times. She was very successful stunt woman, but man, that's a hard job, a really hard job. I mean, it's like you're not only are you like it's kind of the gig economy thing, whereas you're working when you get work. It's not like you show up 9 to 5 kind of thing. You're also beating the crud out of your body, so I can't imagine. Let me see if I can find her name. But that's pretty cool. It's really heavy though. That's why I don't have it hanging off from a piece of string, on the wall. Plus, I got too many instruments making noise right now. I've gotta put some foam in some. Like this thing's definitely loud. I'm like crazy. The instruments that tend to ring out are not the ones I think are ringing out. I don't know. So when I filmed a video where I was sitting against that wall and I had the camera, what was it? I had the camera. I had the camera. No. I was sitting here. I was sitting here facing that wall. I had the camera against that wall, and I had the other camera on my foot because it was the wah video. That I did a video on wah tips. Fortunately, I was recording both cameras at the same time because the one against the wall with all the strings ringing out was unusable. It was like you hear my voice and then you hear all these strings ringing out. I'm like, oh my gosh, dang it, I did that whole video, it's useless. And then I went, oh wait, I have the other camera. Let's grab the audio from that camera. And so you'll notice if you watch that video, I'll find it. It's one of my favorite videos, and it just doesn't get any views. I'm like, does nobody use wahs anymore? But I love using the wah. Wah is one of my favorite tools. Yeah, my favorite, this one here. 1,200 views. Come on. Ridiculous. Share the link. Here it is. But if you listen to it, you'll hear my foot hitting the wah. Like you'll hear the wah going hitting the toe down and heel down. So, all right. Now I've got work I gotta do, so I'm gonna check out. But it was great hanging out with everybody today. Did a YouTube short on scales, only to take it down. Let's see. Maybe I don't remember it get taken down. It's still up. It's still up. I know that happened in Facebook. Did you say Facebook or you said YouTube? Because it would not upload for some reason, and it was frozen. So I re-uploaded it, and then it said it was uploaded, and so I deleted it. So I don't know what happened there. Because then I had two of the same videos. Now, one of the things that Quiz told me is that he said you can re-upload videos because when you re-upload a video on Facebook in particular, it often will find a completely different new audience the second time. Or you do a slight variation, like you edit it slightly and change it slightly and then re-upload it to Facebook. He says then it'll be like you never uploaded it. And so Yeah. Oh, it was YouTube. Oh, that's weird. The three pentatonic scale one is still there. They're all public. Uh, I do have some more that I've shot, and I've got another example number 3 that I did with the Squire. So I got another example using those 3 scales, and that one I haven't uploaded yet. Uh, it's on it's on TikTok and it's on Facebook, but I haven't uploaded it to YouTube yet. So I don't know why there's a lag. I'm lagging on that, but a couple of them I basically did 1, 2, 3. Boom, I uploaded one, and I don't automatically move it over, because if I automatically move it over from TikTok, then I can't monetize them on the other two. It's all TikTok, and I'm like, no, no, no. It's got to be boom, boom. It's got to be individual uploads, individual settings. So, yeah, David, thank you so much. Oh yeah, you can like this live, yeah, and then I'm thinking next Monday we're good. There's a Monday this month that might not work. I'm not sure. And I've got miscellaneous things going on, but anyway, yeah, work is dropped in. I'm getting some things going on, and that's good. And I'm getting blurry, so that means it's time to log out. All right, God bless you, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, 3 pentatonic scales is still up. That's the only one I did on scales. I think everything else was licks, and I've got 3 new lick ones that I just recorded, and I've done the editing on 2 of them, and I have 1 more to finish. And then I think I'm going to do some more scale jams, because those seem to do really well. And they don't monetize unless they're over 60 seconds on Facebook. So I'm going to try to do like a little jam where I'm showing how I'm using a scale or something like that. So, all right. God bless you. Thank you all for hanging out. We'll talk soon. Bye.